10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name. He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard. Whether it's the beat of the mic, 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name.
I wanted to talk about Fiat and Chrysler. Fiat just pulled off a great deal where they got Chrysler for free. They didn't have to bring any money to the table, but you, as a U.S. taxpayer, took it up the keister yet again. Chrysler is losing $100 million a day. The U.S. government has given them $6.6 billion already in credits. They're going to give them another $8 billion, and they gave them $2 billion in cash to pay off the remaining debt so that Fiat could take the company for free. The other thing that's very upsetting about this is people that have owned the dealerships for years are being closed down. You could be a family business that you had for 70 years. The Chrysler brand is no more. Fiat's taken over. What I was told today by a friend of mine in Washington was what Fiat's going to do now, let's say I own the dealership, and Chrysler says, close it down, you can no longer have your dealer certificate. Fiat's going to come back now and say, oh, Mr. Scott, if you'd like to sell these new cars, you know, the new dealership price is going to be $1 million. So not only did I have a business for 70 years, I just got kicked out, I'm going to get extorted potentially if I want to open up another Fiat dealership. I think that the unions screwed up Chrysler tremendously. These people were way overpaid for the work they did. The unions didn't negotiate, and the unions are getting a 35% stake in this new Chrysler. So they've taken the morons and stuck them in charge of a car corporation that cannot make any money, so maybe they need to go out of business. The other issue we're going to talk tonight is the nutcase white supremacist that walked into the Holocaust Museum and shot a guard to death. This idiot has had a lifetime of hatred and anger, and what I want to talk tonight is not so much about him, because the guy's really a dumbass, so to speak, but the media bias and what they've done. Let me explain what I mean by that. This guy, the white supremacist, walks in and shoots an innocent man in a Holocaust museum, and it's all over the news. It's a gigantic news story. They can't stop talking about it, about how bad and horrific it was, and it was a travesty. A lot of you that watch the show from week to week know we do a little digging and try to find another story that doesn't get so much press, that being the Army recruiter that was shot by a Muslim terrorist. William Long of Conway, Arkansas, who was just opening up the door to go to his Army recruiting job, was walked up and shot and murdered in cold blood by a Muslim extremist. No news media coverage on that issue, and I think if we're going to cover people that get killed and murdered by an extremist, we should cover everybody that gets killed by an extremist, not just the one story. Also, the abortion doctor that was gunned down in his church by that other idiotic moron, that was a huge story, but the one here is the media is not being openly honest with the reporting that they do. They pick and choose the stories, and I'd say that the Army recruiter story was just as big as the white supremacist nutcase and the church abortion doctor. The white supremacist guy, I'll tell you, there was one mistake they made is they shot the idiot in the head 2 times and they couldn't kill him. The guy had such a thick skull, it was a waste of 2 good rounds. They should have hit him center mass and he would have been no more. We wouldn't have to deal with this idiot. Also, if you'd like to know some more, go to MediaMatters.com. They do look at news coverage and things like that, and they will tell you what's biased and what's not. Let's see, do we have a call today? I guess we got a call already coming in. Hello? Do we have a phone call? Hello? Hello? Our phone is not working or operating properly, I am thinking. No? Okay. Well, then we're just going to keep going on what I was going to talk about anyway before the phone call comes in. The other issue I was going to talk about is the smoking issue in Washington, where they're going to regulate the tobacco companies. The tobacco companies now, for your safety, have to put every ingredient on the cigarette carton that is in cigarettes. And all these Democrats and Republicans are patting themselves on the back on how great of a job they've done, how they're looking out for your families, and how smoking is such a horrendous thing. And Barack Obama, who is a closet smoker, I've been told, and I guess he does smoke occasionally, is going to sign the bill if he hasn't already. The thing I find ridiculous about this smoking ban, I don't smoke. I think smoking is really a crappy habit. And if you want to die young, smoke a cigarette. But we've got Korea with nuclear weapons that now they're saying are capable of hitting the U.S. We've got an Iran that is out of control with an election. We've got Russia saying they want to start the arms race again. We've got a war in Iraq that Obama said he was going to end. And we've got the war in Afghanistan. But we're so concerned about smoking and cigarettes, it's just appalling that these guys think the American public is that stupid that we buy this stuff. Go ahead if we have a phone call.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about the GM and Chrysler bailout stuff.
Absolutely. What do you want to say about it?
Well, I'm actually from Michigan, so I mean, a lot of my family's being affected by all this, but I have to say that I'm completely fine with them, like, giving a little bit of a shtick if they have to.
With giving who a shtick? Giving the company to Fiat?
Yeah.
So, well, see, I thought most of the people from Michigan were like so proud of the American auto industry and would fight to the depth, and then the union walks in here and says, oh no, we're not going to give up anything, but here they turn to get a 35% of a company that's failed, that they, in essence, destroyed. Not the workers, not the hardworking workers, but the union, not the workers. I really need to be specific with that. And then all this union American pride, we just take and we give the company to Fiat for free. Fiat did not come up with one penny. And the guys that have worked for years owning these dealerships, 70 years some of them, have nothing now. Not even a thank you. They're just being shut down. So I do have a problem with the way Chrysler has handled this situation. And quite frankly, if I was going to make a prediction, I don't think they will make it. But thank you for your call. And we appreciate when you do call in. I just happen to disagree with you on that. And I'm just sick and tired of the American public footing the bill for incompetent, idiotic, imbecilic labor and management that cannot run a company properly. I work in an industry that has already gone bankrupt one time, and quite frankly, they still don't know what they're doing. And the incompetence level is just so high, the people that break up these companies will make millions of dollars in their golden parachutes, like Sun Microsystems, for instance, that has just been purchased. All the low-level people are going to get kicked out and lose their jobs that built the company, but all the high and mighty CEOs are going to make millions of dollars at the workers' expense. So, I think people should be getting a little sick of that, and, it's unfortunate that that's going on. Do we have another phone call? Stanley? No? Okay. Well, we're going to continue. I misread you. I'm so upset about everything. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm ready to become a libertarian with the way everybody is running it. I'm very disenfranchised with the Democrats and the Republicans. When George Bush was in office, he quite frankly stunk. And now that Barack Obama is in it, people I know that are more toward his worldview and his thinking are getting kind of ticked because all the stuff they thought was going to happen is not happening. It kind of makes you wonder, we got Pelosi and all these other idiots in there that they promise all this stuff and then they get elected, nothing really happens. We're going into all these huge deficits. We're probably going to have out-of-control inflation within the next 6 months to a year if they don't get the housing bubble fixed, because a lot of these other mortgages are going to come due where if the interest rates start to go up, people are going to start losing their houses. And the unemployment bubble is not over yet either. A lot of companies are making their employees go part-time from full-time, or they're making them take mandatory days off, where they can cost an average American worker maybe $4,000 to $6,000 a year in forced time off. But the mayors of the cities and the bosses and the management, they all get to keep their jobs. They get their vacations. When you're losing your job, Barack Obama gets to take his wife and go to New York and enjoy a nice play. Why don't you get to get a first-class plane flight with security and go to a New York play? I would love to go.